have found the Genesis frequency. This is Dr. Stephen J. Kazmina welcoming you in to another episode of a show that focuses on your whole life prosperity and success. Whole life prosperity and success by cooperating with the universal laws that are available to each and every one of us. This is Quantum Leap Goal Achievement, radical personal transformation, whole life prosperity and success. Now, stay tuned for another exciting episode that'll move the needle in your life from where you are now to where you want to be.
And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it may be, wherever you are in the world. When you hit that play button, so glad you did. You found the Genesis Frequency Podcast with me, Dr. Cause and Effect, Dr. Stephen J. Kazmina, coming at you with another episode. And let's jump right in. This show is all about personal, professional, and leadership development, helping you, your organization, your small business, whatever you're involved with in your life, helping you move from where you are to where you want to be and what's involved in that process. How do we do that in the most efficient and effective way using the laws of infinite potential, using the power of our subconscious mind, and all the other tools that are available to us to do that? I've been doing this for a long time now, helping small business owners, helping entrepreneurs get started, and most recently, over a year ago now, becoming a franchisee of Leadership Management International and fostering and facilitating transformation within organizations, corporations, business owners, individuals. So I draw from all that body of knowledge, that wisdom gained over the years, my study over a lifetime of how this all works, how we can really, really do this and be the most effective when we show up and strive to accomplish our goals, our dreams, our desires. So, whatever it is you're working towards, you're in the right place at the right time. And speaking of timing, I love how we just experience synchronicity in our lives, especially when we just notice it. Sometimes we don't notice it. Often we don't see things showing up, things that can support us, and things that maybe we should move away from, move in a different direction because they have a tendency to draw us into negative habits. So I want to dive in and talk about something that came up just in my success planner. As I've mentioned several times, I use a My-Tyme Success Planner. My company through LMI is the designer, distributor, and I don't know, the copyright patent holder, whatever they call it for planners. And I've been using this, I've been using a version of this, whether it was the old Franklin Covey or designing my own, um, and then got back into it. Being a franchisee of LMI, got back into it over a year ago, and I just love My-Tyme Success Planner. And there's a trend, believe it or not, with all the things we do on the computer and online, there is a trend back to paper planners. And that's not what this show is all about. You can Google that information, but it is a very, very, very large, lucrative market. And I just have always been a hands-on paper kind of guy. If a calendar is fine online, and I encourage you to use it. I use it. Use a calendar to keep appointments, but a planner is to plan your productive activities that move you each day, each morning, each hour closer to what you want to experience in your life, what you want to achieve and accomplish. I love mine. There's power when we write things down. There's power when we engage the senses. There's power when we use these planning tools and we see it and we visualize it and we write and we hear things like what you're doing in this podcast. So today, what came up when I'm looking at direction I want to take this show. We've done a lot about goal setting over the last few episodes. Actually, since the beginning of this podcast started years and years ago. But the top of the planner, there's a page on the right, which is for journaling, for notes, for conversations, ideas, and a place to write all those down. I carry my planner everywhere. Everything I write down. I don't have a legal pad anymore, or pad folio that I take and open it up, and everything is written down in here. Everything. And then it's kind of categorized, if you will, indexed, I should say. So I can always find those notes from that meeting. I can go to the index. Okay, that was on the 15th. I can go there and review some of the material. But anyway, on the right side of the page at the top, there's a quote every day from the founder of LMI. Actually, preceding LMI was SMI, Success Motivation Institute. But Leadership Management International was founded by Paul J. Meyer. The anniversary is coming up next year, 65 years. Lots of wisdom here within the company. But Paul J. Meyer's quotes, I like to look at those at the beginning of every day to kind of, just set my course, just to make sure that I'm on track and make that attitude adjustment if it's necessary, or maybe it's just a quote that inspires or motivates me in a certain way. But as I record this podcast in this moment, the quote for the day is: You are where you are and what you are because of the thoughts that dominate your mind. And I thought, well, okay, there's my guidance right there, what to talk about in this particular episode. And I talk about this a lot. It's just said in another way. We hear it all the time. You are where you are and what you are because of the thoughts that dominate your mind. And we hear it. We have James Allen's As a Man Thinketh, going back to, oh boy, just ancient times, Greek philosophers. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Men and women. I'm just using a quote there. But we know thoughts and mind reproduce after their kind. We've heard it in a number of different ways. I like this way. I like this way that's shared today. You are where you are and what you are because of the thoughts that dominate your mind. So you're where you are and you are what you are. So w- when we have a person, people, a group, an organization that is experiencing results that they really don't want, or in the organization, or in the corporation, or in the, whether it's a ministry or a nonprofit, it doesn't matter. You are where you are because of the dominant thoughts held in mind. Think about that. So, where does it point? Where does this point the burden of responsibility? It does on the individual. And keep in mind, when I'm talking about individual, I'm talking about just our own way of being and showing up in the world. But this also in the corporation, the organization, this is really revolving around what is the culture? What is the expectation? What is the direction? What is the mission, the purpose? And we can get into all that. We can have private conversations around all that and build this out for you. But just think about it. It's your dominant thoughts that have brought you to where you are right now, what you are experiencing, and where you are and what you are. Now, there's a bunch of people out there will say, well, that's a bunch of baloney. I don't buy that. Well, it's true. If you would, it's not only is it true, if you would spend some time really looking at it and analyzing this and think about what you think about most of the time, you will see how it externalizes in your experience. It really does. People that are always you, and you can see this. Just look around the workplace, look around society. People that are always complaining, "Oh, nothing ever works out for me. I always get the short end of the stick. I'm not good enough. Nobody wants to work with me. Nobody wants to hire me. Nobody likes my ideas." then that becomes their dominant thought and that becomes their experience. We see it all the time. Evidence is there. So I don't really have to convince you of it. You just look around and you can see that it is true. We can use, weight as an example. If somebody is affirming all the time, I am so, use your own adjectives, that is tending to lean to the side that their dominant thoughts are around maybe a size they don't want to be. So this is so true, and it's something that we are not only responsible for, but something that we are in control of. Now, is it every thought? No. This little quote says it is our dominant thoughts. What are you thinking about all the time? And I've said it plenty of times on this show over and over and over and over again. We have 40 to 60,000 thoughts per day, and almost all of those thoughts are the same thoughts we had yesterday. And they're either rooted and grounded in lack and limitation and worry and doubt and fear about what happened yesterday or the day before, our past that is gone, or about a future that doesn't exist. And they're very rarely in the present moment, right here, right now. So, this powerful, powerful, powerful mind we have is not always being utilized in the most efficient and effective way. And it comes back to being vigilant and noticing what we're thinking about. And remember, it's dominant thoughts. It's not all thoughts. Thank goodness. It's not every thought shows up as an experience or manifests as your experience. It's your dominant thoughts. And to further that, it's dominant thoughts that we add feeling and emotion to, right? So you have to remember this. I talk often about the formula thoughts plus feelings plus actions equals results. And so when we align our thought and our thought process with what we want to experience, and we move into the energy of that as a present moment, right here, right now reality, we tend to draw people, experiences, events, circumstances into our life that are supportive of this deliberate, intentional, dominant thought. Pick up the book by Jack Canfield, The Success Principles, and he talks about the reticular activating system in there. And he talks about visualizing, just pushing back and having this idea, having this thought, knowing that your dominant thoughts tend to externalize. He talks about pushing back and visualizing, seeing it real right now, not as if you're watching yourself on a movie screen having this experience, but feeling the energy of the experience being real for you right now, seeing it that way on the screen, the canvas of your mind. And this is really important. It really magnetizes your condition to attract to you. That's what this spot in our brain does, this particular activating system. I often share the analogy of, maybe you're thinking about getting that new, shiny, whatever it is, silver Ford Focus car, whatever it is, and you say, man, I don't see much of those on the road. I think I want to get one of those. I really like them. We can take it for a test drive. You're starting to, you feel it, right? You're adding the feelings in. I really want this car. I really like this. There's not too many around. I'll kind of be unique in my experience. And you start to entertain this thought, this idea, and you're feeling yourself. It'd be so nice to get rid of the old clunker and move myself into this particular car that I landed on, and then you make it happen. You go buy the car. You've moved into the experience of it being real. But what happens now is you notice, even before you probably made the purchase, you probably noticed, oh my goodness, they're all over the place now. I got one and everybody else wants one. Everybody is driving. That's all I see is this silver Ford Focus or whatever it is. And that's the reticular activating system at work there, but it can work in our favor, right? when we're having the dominant thoughts and we're moving in the direction of what we want to experience, this kicks in. And this is part of the process. This is part of the attraction. The actions we take are attractive to the energy that's in alignment with those dominant thoughts. So, thoughts plus feelings plus actions equals results. But what else is involved here? And I've done several episodes on that. So, just click around a little bit and click around on manifestation and goals and realization, that kind of thing. But basically, we're looking at making a decision and a commitment. We're deciding what it is that we really, really, really want to show up in our life experience. We're deciding what we really, really want to show up in our small business. We're deciding what we really want to experience in our organization and in our corporation. We have to decide. We have to define our mission and our purpose and our vision. Where do we want to be down the road? We have to do that. And we have to decide what it is specifically. There's a law of specificity, one of the laws of infinite potential. What does this look like specifically? And I often share, people say, well, I want to have a house by the water, and they're not specific. So they get a house and it's by a retention pond, or it's by a road that they never fix the chuck holes, so they're always filled with water. It rains. We're going to attract some version of that dominant thought into our life. So we want to be specific, especially in a corporation. And I talked more about that when we were talking about the goal setting process. So consider the different areas of your life and do this. Decide what it is you want to experience, riches in your life, however you define riches in your life, however you define success in your organization. And as an individual, look at everything. Look at money, look at business, look at career, look at fun, look at recreation, look at health, look at fitness, look at relationships. Personally, what do you want for you? What about your legacy? What you want to leave behind? And then make this decision and then commit to it. Yeah, this is the way I'm going. Next up, what you want to do is you want to write these out in present tense format with gratitude. I've always used I'm so happy and grateful now that I am, now that we are within the organization, within your group of C suite executives. Do this. It's not silly. If you're not doing this, where are the dominant thoughts going? What happens, what tends to happen, whether it's in the boardroom, frontline workers, middle management, or anything in between, they're given the problem. Here's the problem. And they go into the energy of the problem and try to fix it from that space, which never, ever works. We tend to create more problems, is usually what happens. You have to think and go to the new thought and build out the idea of what it all looks like. Perfect world. What is this that we really want to experience? Do this work as a team. Do this work individually. Come to the table, mastermind, access that part of all of us that can go and practice sitting in the silence for a few moments and accessing that infinite intelligence and wisdom that's available to everyone. So you don't want to do this, but as you have set the intention, you want to write it out with gratitude. I'm so happy and grateful now. This will help you to center your thoughts on the things that you want to experience, and your subconscious mind will go to work on it. I suggest writing it on a card, writing it on an index card, writing it on. I have gold cards. Reach out to me. I can get you a gold card, goes in a little plastic sleeve. Write it on a card, carry it with you, look at it throughout your day, rewrite it every day. I rewrite mine in my planner on a daily basis. I'm so happy and grateful now that, and then I fill in the rest of it. Read it out loud. Remember, it's hearing, it's speaking, it's writing, it's seeing. Find something that visually supports what that is, what that end game is, so you can visualize it and feel it real. This is key because it's a dominant thought. And when we add feeling in, it makes all the difference in the world when we're making an impression on the subconscious mind. So you make the decision, the commitment, you write it out in the present tense with gratitude, you visualize it and feel yourself into the energy of it being your reality. And you got to stay the course. You got to believe and have faith in this process. If you slip in thought, word, in action, back to, oh, it'll never work, or that's not for me, I'm not good enough. Well, you got some deeper work that you have to do because you're not really buying into what is is capable for you. You're not buying into your own infinite potential. So we tend to drift back. And that's where I find when I work with individuals or companies, that's where I find the biggest stoppers. You say, yeah, I believe we can all get it done. But on a deeper level, there might not be any belief there. So we have to have that faith. We have to attack every day with positive expectation that we're going to move forward in the direction of what we want to experience. We remember we don't have to know how. We absolutely don't have to know how. Our good will come to us. In fact, often how is none of our business. We can release that to the mastermind, to the group, to the team that's working on this problem. Or as an individual, we can push back and we can release it in the silence. Say, hey, I don't know how. And and we're speaking to that higher self, that subconscious mind. Show me. Come up with this plan, deliver it to me by the end of the week. I have to know the direction I need to move in. There's a presence and power at work here that is beyond our human comprehension. So believe in every moment of the day and have faith that this will all work for you. This will all be brought into the light so that you will know each and every day, even if you don't know right at this moment, it will show up. And then take action on it. You have to take action. If you're committed to your vision and your dreams, you will receive that inspiration. You will receive and see situations, events, and circumstances and people showing up. You will know that that is part of the plan. You will know intuitively. It's a mental faculty. You will know, okay, here it is. I'm going in that direction. And then practice gratitude. Practice gratitude. How can we possibly want more if we're not grateful for what we already have and have been given? Practice past, present, and future gratitude. Give thanks that you now have moved your dreams and your desires from non-form to form by simply using the power of your own mind. Truly, the gift has already been given. So you can give thanks in this way. And then once you do this, once you prove this to yourself, and it's already proven, look at where you are and then realize it's from the dominant thoughts you have had in the past is where you are. You've already proven it. But when you prove it, moving it in a positive direction this way through positive expectation and the five things I just laid out here, well, you're going to trust in it more and more and more and more and more. And you will see and experience quantum leaps over and over and over again in the direction of what you want to accomplish in your life, in your small business, in your organization, in your corporation. So follow this plan, but take that inspired action. I can't stress that enough because it will come. When you feel that inner nudge to move and act, do it. Do it. Okay, we must participate as we're directed. It's all part of the process. Now, hey, I'm out of time for today. I just want to let you know I talk a lot about my My-Tyme Success Planner. And as I record this particular podcast, this particular year, we're getting to approaching the fourth quarter that's coming up pretty soon. So I am making my Time Success Planners available through me. There's a number of different ways you can put this together with a nice binder and all that stuff. But more importantly, pick one of these up, and I'm going to do a free um, I'll do a free conference. I'll do a Zoom conference, a webinar, and we'll do a actual personal management, effective personal management workshop utilizing our new success planners, putting it together and then laying everything out, chunking down those big dream goals, laying it out, using all the tools that are available to you within this. And there are many. You use what works for you. So I'll be doing a free workshop on that. Effective personal management is the name of the workshop. It's free. Um, you can participate without purchasing a planner, but that's what we're going to be talking about. So you'll want to get one for you and your team. Start working on those goals. Start thinking about those goals for next year. Start doing that work now, because so many times when we do this work, what I've talked about is a simple 5-step process for for manifesting or accomplishing, achieving your goals. It's simple, the process, but it's not always easy. And often we uncover some inner work that needs to be done. So we'll talk about all that in this workshop. I'm putting it together now, so I don't know how long it's going to be, probably half a day or something like that, or maybe a couple hours. So that'll be free. Pick up a planner from me, reach out and just put planner in the subject line. I'll get to you the different ways they're available. Send the email to Stephen, Stephen, at successocean.com. Stephen, Stephen, at successocean.com. Let me know that you heard the talk about the planner. You want to get one and participate in the free training that I'm doing around utilizing the planner. And I'll reach back out to you. But actually, put your phone number in there too, because I find that it's a good way if we talk about it and I can tell you what's available. And what I mean by available, the planner's all the same, but if you want to get a nice, I have a nice leathered, zippered binder. You can get a variety of vinyl binders. You know, everybody's got a personal preference, so we can talk about that a little bit. Or just reach out, Stephen at successocean.com, and put your phone number in there, and I'll reach out and we can talk about all that. And we'll talk about this more moving forward. I'm way over for today. Reach out, reach out, reach out. And let's keep moving forward, right? Always looking for individuals too that want to step into their own business, work with me in the personal, professional, and leadership development space. We can talk about that too. For now, let's wrap this thing up. You've been listening to the Genesis Frequency Podcast with me, Dr. Cause and Effect, Dr. Stephen J. Kosmina, and I wish for you an infinitely spectacular day. God bless you.